Hey guys, how you doing? So I see I've hit the 600 subscriber mark. Thanks for subscribing, guys. Thanks for the support. Cheers. Anyway, you guys probably remember me talking about the rape laws in India, don't you? One part in particular is what I want to talk about today: the age of consent. The age of consent in India is 18, as in a lot of other countries, but the problem arises when two consenting minors have sex. The boy is automatically presumed to be the rapist, even though he's below the age of consent as well. Um, I have one such incident for you that happened in my home state. The heading of the article reads 12-year-old boy booked for impregnating teenage girl. Of course, teenage starts from 13, goes up to 19. So we're sure the girl is elder than the boy, but how much? By how much? Let's have a look. The article reads a 12-year-old boy has been booked under the POCSO Act after a teenage girl who gave birth to a baby claimed that he had impregnated her, police said on Monday. Both the boy and the 17-year-old girl are relatives, and the case under the Protection of Children from Sexual Offense Act had been registered on the basis of a statement given by her. Looky here. The girl is 17 years old. I mean, that's a lot more mature than a 12-year-old. Even then, the boy is the one who abused the girl, isn't it? The boy is the rapist. I mean, if anybody fucking looks at this, it's a clear case of a girl taking advantage of the boy. You know, she's definitely larger than the boy, given that she's 17 and he's 12. The power factor that these feminists talking about disappears in this scenario, doesn't it? I don't care if the boy actually consented because he's not even a bloody teenager. The girl raped the boy, and yet it is the boy who is going to be punished. And the article goes on. Police said that they have decided to conduct a DNA test to verify the claim of the girl, who delivered the baby girl in a private hospital recently, that the boy is the father of the child. He would be prosecuted as per the Juvenile Justice Act. Now, as per the Juvenile Justice Act, if the Juvenile Justice Board decides that the act was done with intent, the minor can be tried as an adult. I've spoken about this before. Now, this boy's life has been ruined by a horny fucking female even before it started. You tell me if this is not a war against boys. Leave men aside for now. Our boys don't even get the love and protection they deserve. He is 12 years old, for God's sake, and was probably 11 when they had sex. And they're going to punish the boy for what a girl did to him. I mean, if anybody fucking has a logical and just way of explaining this, go right ahead. Fucking I'm all ears. It's absolute fucking bonkers. Anyway, moving on from that horrendous fucking incident, we have something about beauty standards. Not for women though, it's for a man. The headline reads, newly married woman murders husband for not being handsome. The article goes on to say, a newly married woman allegedly murdered her husband by smashing his head with a grinding stone, upset that he was not handsome, police said today. The 22-year-old woman, who got married about a week ago, attacked her husband fatally last night in their house in Kurlo following a quarrel. Now, I'm not really surprised by this, but I guess the headline was supposed to, catch people's eye because, women don't look at outer beauty and look at only inner beauty. The mainstream media and society, on the whole, believe that men are not judged for their attractiveness. I mean, sorry to burst your bubble, but attractiveness usually represents good genes, and that represents the better chances of passing on your genes. It's that plain and simple. Women do look at that factor, even if it's not their first priority. We all know what the big factors are. I mean, I don't need to repeat them. Do I? Anyway, the article goes on to say, police said the woman started hating her husband, a wood sculptor, in his mid-20s because her friends and relatives said he was not handsome and not a match for her. Though the woman came out and cried saying someone had murdered her husband, police after investigations arrested her on Tuesday on the charge of killing him. She was produced before a local court which remanded her to judicial custody. Now, what do you see in that particular paragraph after you heard it? You know what? Go back. Have a read. Pause there and have a read. What do you think you saw? I'll tell you what I see. I see them trying to blame others for her motivation to commit the crime. They say it's because her friends and relatives told her he's not handsome. I mean, my first question would be, why the hell did they not, state it earlier? Second would be, why couldn't this woman judge for herself if what they state is true? She can't really shy away from the crime she committed, but she wants to share the blame. One of the few times greedy women love sharing. Of course, first she tried to blame it entirely on someone else when she came out and cried. But when she was caught in her lies, she tried to share the blame of the murder. Because, not the murder, but the motivation. Don't ever learn to take responsibility for your actions. Well, that's the way to go right now. Okay, moving on from that incident, you know how women love their children, how they're natural caregivers? Here's one of those stories about the mother's love for her child. Serial bride kidnaps son for rupees 50 lakh ransom. Oh, sorry, did I say love? I meant indifference. Now I'm going to read most of the article and then talk about it. A 41-year-old serial bride and her mother have been arrested from Mulund for duping an Ahmedabad divorcee into marrying her using a fake online profile and then demanding rupees 50 lakh to give him custody of their young son a couple of years later. The Ahmedabad police said they arrested Anshu Jaisal and her mother Kamla following a complaint by Ravi Brahmbhatt, a courier firm owner in the Gujarat capital who married her in November 2013 after seeing her profile on a matrimonial website. Anshu's con job became undone when Ravi overheard her tell her mother in 2014 that she cannot get the marriage registered as she's already married. Now, when the Brahmbhatts confronted her, she insisted that it was her first marriage. The family then did an online search only to find some profiles of her showing she was married early in Varanasi. We gave an advertisement in newspapers with her photo, which yielded several inquiries confirming our suspicions. A visit to the registrar of marriages provided the proof that she had gotten married earlier, Ravi's brother Rakesh said. Now, as trouble mounted, Anshu fled with her 2-year-old son, some cash and 200 grams of gold jewelry that the Brahmbhatts had given her during her marriage. They alleged she refused to meet them and asked for rupees 50 lakh to give them custody for her son. She threatened to abandon him on Mumbai roads if he didn't pay her, they said. We see how much, women love their kids, don't we? Damn it, I fucking said it again. I said love, didn't I? I mean indifference, indifference. I literally did mean indifference. My bad, guys, It has been drilled into me since I was a child that, every woman loves their child more than she loves herself. Man, did they fuck up. Now, have I ever told you about, what some tournament species do when they become the alpha of the new group? We study animals to get a better understanding of our behavior. And as I've mentioned before, we are in between this tournament species and a pair bonding species. Now, this is a story about a tournament species. So what the alphas do when they come into a new group is they go around killing off offsprings, of the previous alpha, because if the females are nursing the previous alpha's children, then they will not be in heat, as in they will not be ovulating and ready to mate with him. So it's an evolutionary strategy seen in tournament species. They want the female to be in estrus so they can mate with them and, reproduce. Simple. To be honest, I believe it's a cruel act. Going around killing the young, but evolution doesn't really care, does it? It's a reproductive competition. Evolution doesn't care if something is sexist or hateful. The best strategies for reproduction gets passed on. What I want to focus on is the mother's behavior during such incidents. Because I'm pretty sure everybody's spoken about how bad men are. What I do is I look at the other side. Now, considering we've been told that women love their children and lay down their life for them, we could expect to see the females fight the alpha till they die. But what they do is something else altogether. When a female with a child faces a new alpha in the group, would she protect the kid to the point that she gets killed? No, she does not. We do not see females defending their kids if it gets to the point that she might lose her life. The circumstance under which the female fights till she gets injured or dies is if she's an older female, because she's less likely to have another child after that. The one who is most motivated to protect the kid would be the maternal grandmother, who has no reproductive potential whatsoever after that. Now, there is a cold, hard logic to this, which is even if the child dies, the female can have another shot with this new male in passing on her genes. But she will not be able to pass on her genes if she dies fighting. It's a very cold and hard logic, but it works. Now, the older female has lesser chance of reproducing, so she is motivated to fight harder, and the maternal grandmother fights the hardest because she has no reproductive potential at that point. Individual selection comes into play here. Women choose to protect themselves if given an option. I don't blame them for it. It makes sense. It makes logical sense. You can call the male the bad guy for killing offsprings, but you can also call the female selfish for not defending a kid, her own blood. This is not about laying blame on one gender. It's just that we've been fed so much shit about men without being told about the bad things about women. We hear a lot of the bad about men, but only the good about women. I want to speak about the bad about women as well, because the truth should be out there. This is about telling you what the truth is. That's it. I mean, we've been led to believe mothers will do anything for their child. It's not entirely true, is it? It depends on her age, which translates to her reproductive potential. There was even a case where a mother poisoned her child so she could elope with her new boyfriend. That's individual selection right there. This has been seen in our closest relatives, apes, in the silverback gorillas. And what it shows gives us a better understanding of the women and child first process that we use in times of danger. First priority women because they are the gatekeepers of reproduction. Second children and then men. The logic is simple, isn't it? Look, I hate the system, but I understand why it works. And if you're going to tell us about the bad part of men or the bad sides of men, which is usually committed only by a few men, you've got to tell us about the flip side. One, the good side of men, and the other, the bad side of women. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Till next time. Cheers.